Hey, how's it going?
How are you?
You're back.
Good to see you. Yes, I am. This is a very rare piece.
Okay.
This is Remington from the late 1800s. It's got some silver, and it's got some gold in it, and it's all engraved.
This is pretty nice. Where did you get this?
Well, a lady friend of mine got it in a divorce. So
Lady friend, huh?
lady friend. we made an arrangement, and
You got paid for your services.
in this case, you might say so. I have a late 1800 Remington 7.5-inch barrel gun. There were very few of them made. If I could walk out of here with $6,000, I'd be happy, and my lady friend would be very happy as well. I'm not gonna lie, I have a few lady friends. I have a few.
That is one big gun.
I'm sure that has a lot of firepower.
This was a real popular thing right around the late 1800s to really fancy up your gun.
Right.
Because if you were really rich, there was less things to spend your money on. There was no jet skis to buy.
Exactly.
So a lot of people would buy something like this. And it's neat. We have a gold-plated cylinder, a gold-plated hammer. Beautiful gun. Did she give you any paperwork or anything with
No,
it?
she didn't have any paperwork.
We just want to make sure it's manufactured 1898 or back. That makes it legally an antique. It can be transferred without any federal paperwork. It makes life easier for everybody, and it adds value.
Oh, wow.
This gun is absolutely incredible. This thing could be worth a ton. Now I just need to figure out how much. Did you have an idea what you wanted for it?
Well, I think that's worth close to $15,000.
There are a few little concerns I have here, okay? Is it factory engraved? Are these factory grips? Do you mind if I have someone look at it? There's a lot of little weird things that I need to know about it.
I gotcha.
I'm gonna call them up, hang out,
Right.
and enjoy the sights.
Thank you. Getting a second opinion is going to help because it's really a nice piece, and I think it's worth a lot of money.
This is it, fancy schmancy.
Yeah, it is. And may I?
Please.
The form is of a model 1890 Remington. They only manufactured these for about 5 years. At that time, there was an arms race among the manufacturers, and Colt was leading the way. But many experts out there will say that this was actually the superior model. In 1890, if you were anybody in the Wild West, you're gonna carry a Remington or a Colt. This was that cowboy gun. This gun is completely original. This could exceed in value of maybe $40,000 or more.
So is it factory or is it not factory? That's my big question on all this.
If you don't mind, I'd like to take the grips off.
Oh, please do.
I want to discern how old this work is. So right down here is where the serial number is, 1591. So this would place the year of manufacture probably around 1893, 94, which is good. One of the negatives that I'm seeing is that this looks really new and untouched. All the real ones have discoloration. This looks like it could have been put on there 2 weeks ago. The other thing that I'm seeing, this is the lanyard right there. It's all very fresh metal. There's no age to it whatsoever.
Uh-huh.
The good thing about it is I like the engraving. It's in the correct style. It's not overly embellished. You know, it's very tastefully done.
Right.
I would say that the refinish on this, in other words, the silver plating and the gold wash, and chances are the grips were upgraded within the last 40 years.
Okay. So what do you think it's worth?
A gun like this is going to be about a $4,000 gun with this engraving, but no original finish. But in today's market, you're going to spend an additional $4,000 just to have all this work done.
Really?
So realistically, I've seen them sell 8 to maybe 12,000.
Okay. Thanks, man. You're the best.
A collector probably had it when it was in its worst condition and said, you know what? I want to bring this thing back to life. So I'm going to spend the money and have it completely overhauled and redone. And that's exactly what this is.
So what's your rock bottom price?
I'm thinking 9,000.
I'm thinking no.
I knew you were going to say that.
I'm not trying to beat you up. I mean, he just told you you expect between 8 and 12. So I'm going to assume I'm going to get around 8, and I should pay you around 5.
How about 7?
You're a good guy. You've come in here before. You've sold me other things. I'll tell you what, I will give you $6,000. We'll shake hands. We'll do the paperwork. The world will be good.
You got a deal.
Sweet. I'll meet you right over there, man. This is cool.
I feel very, very, very good that we settled on $6,000. My lady friend would be very happy as well.
Howdy, partner.
How you doing?
What do we got here?
That's Ronald Reagan's cowboy hat from 1982.
Ronald Reagan's cowboy hat.
Well, it was given to him by the president of Brazil.
Okay. It would make sense they would give Reagan a cowboy hat, too, because his ranch in California, and he rode horses. And when he was an actor, he was a huge Western star. Who knew that a guy was doing movies that were bedtime for Bonzo and originally become president of the United States?
I'm at the pawn shop today to sell my cowboy hat that was owned by President Ronald Reagan. I purchased the hat from the president's assistant's daughter. This hat from 1982 is in perfect condition. It's been well cared for, there's no damage to it, and it's inscribed in the interior by the Brazilian government. I'm asking for $5,000. I've never seen an item like it before, a cowboy hat owned by Ronald Reagan. I'm looking to sell the hat to just add to my collection, and there's new items out there to be found, and that's what I'm always looking for.
I mean, it's really interesting. In the early 80s, Reagan was trying to, really help out South American economies. This is 1982. The Cold War is still going on. You want South American countries to have really good economies because if they don't, the communists try and move it. It's fitting they gave him a cowboy hat. Brazil has a cowboy culture really, really similar to the United States. You don't think about it, but they had their frontier where it was all the Wild West and everything else going on. So go to stores in Brazil, there'd be hundreds of books, in Portuguese though, all about the cowboys on the frontier, and down there, they're vaqueros, up here they're cowboys.
I didn't know that.
And this is like the paperwork you got here. Obviously a Brazilian newspaper written in Portuguese, and looks like a picture of Ronald Reagan holding up a very similar hat. Does it fit you?
It doesn't. It's a little small.
And what do we have here? It's got a whole little novel in here. Mr. Reagan, it is with pleasure that we offer you this hat. Okay. And we have a letter here from David C. Fisher, who was a special assistant to the president. The president received a hat in Brazil, and the president ended up giving it to this David C. Fisher. All right. I think it's super cool. Okay. How much you want for it?
5,000.
Okay. Here's my big problem. It's dated a year later. Well, it says, 12/2/83.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 82. Yeah, I think it's a Scribner's error, and I think they put a 3 instead of a 2 on the hat.
Here's my big problem. I truly believe it's Reagan's hat. Of all things in the world to fake, why the hell would you fake this? But if I go to sell it, everyone's just gonna go, well, it's not the right date. And then I have to say, well, I think they screwed up the date. It's just gonna make it 10 times harder for me to sell. The hat doesn't match the paperwork. Even though I love the story, I just can't do anything with it.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. If you have anything else, bring it in. Maybe we'll make a deal.
That sounds good. I will do.
Okay. How we going?
All right, thank you so much.
What I really wish he had was Reagan's jelly beans. I got a call from a guy with a collection of 1950s cowboy toys. So me and Corey are on our way to go check them out.
Hello.
Hello. Hear about the toys?
Come on in. This is what I called you about.
Damn, there is a lot of stuff here.
This is like my museum.
You don't really strike me as the cowboy type.
You're right. I'm always like a Zora type. I've decided to call the guys at the pawn shop to come over to see if they're interested in buying my whole Western toy collection. The reason I want to sell this collection is just time to move on. I'm leaving this house. I just don't want to lug this around anymore. This whole collection is worth about $30,000 to $40,000. I would like to get at least $15,000 for it.
So what was it about the Lone Ranger that got your blood pumping there?
The reason I really liked Lone Ranger because he was really an upstanding citizen, even to the day he died. He really was.
Kind of like me and you.
The Lone Ranger is a classic. The show started back in the 30s on the radio and became an instant hit. With a horse named Silver and a sidekick named Tonto, the show became so popular that dozens of cowboy shows followed in its footsteps.
Okay, so what all do you have here?
First of all, a complete set of all the comics, all the board games from all the TV shows, all the lunch pails and the thermoses.
Lunch boxes are definitely cool. I know some could be worth some money.
This It's actually sort of my pride and joy. These are all the toy guns that were used in the show. And this is the coolest complete set, Bat Masterson. I remember buying this for about $350 about 30 years ago.
If this guy paid $350 for a Bat Masterson gun 30 years ago, it could be worth a lot more money now. The rest of this stuff, I have no idea what it's worth. So what were you looking to get out of all this stuff?
This is worth like $25,000 to $40,000. If somebody had a store and had time to sell it, I would like to sell this whole thing for $15,000.
Okay. Do you mind if I have someone come in here and take a look at them?
Oh, my pleasure.
All right.
All right, good deal.
Thanks. I'll give you a call.
My pleasure. I'm glad an expert's coming in so we can just verify what I have.
I'm Johnny, owner of Toy Shack Las Vegas. We specialize in vintage toys and collectibles. Western toys were made for kids to play with and be used. They weren't made to be collected. So very few of these toys made it through the years.
So Johnny, man, is old Western toys like this that collectible?
Well, a lot of it's a part of history. You know, a lot of these stories, they might be stories on TV, but they're based on true characters that actually lived back then in the West.
So have you seen collections like this before?
Never a Western collection this big. This is huge. Oh, this is neat. This is a Bat Masterson playset. You almost never see the box, yet alone the vest and everything else that goes with it all complete. You know, it looks like this gun's never been fired.
Okay, so how much is something like that worth?
These pieces here, you're looking at about $1,000, just right here on the table.
Okay.
Wow, this is a great collection of lunchboxes. You got a lot of the thermoses here, which is important too. It's a big factor in the price. These are highly, highly collectible, Rick. This Lone Ranger piece is really rare. Probably looking at about $600 just for this piece here.
Okay.
If it was the blue border, you're looking at about $15.
So what do you think, Johnny?
In today's market right now, this is a cool collection. You have no problem moving it for $18,000 to $20,000 in your shop today.
So do you think someone would buy this in all one shot, or does it have to be broken up?
Your best bet is to break it up, because the guy that collects the cap guns isn't going to collect the games, and the guy that collects the comics isn't going to collect the lunch bells.
Thanks, Johnny. I appreciate it.
No problem, Rick.
I definitely want this collection, but it's going to be a pain in the butt selling this stuff. It's going to take time to sort, catalog, and sell this stuff. And time is money. Okay, so how much are you looking to get out of all this?
Well, I would like to get $15,000 at least.
I'll give you $7 grand.
Oh, I don't think so. Okay, how about 10.5? And I can't believe I'm going that low.
I will go 9,500, not a penny more. You know, if you had one item that was worth 15,000, I could see paying 12 or 13, but this is a lot of work to sell this all individually. This is hundreds of hours of an employee of
This
mine.
is true, yeah. Okay, can I keep one comic book?
No. 9,500.
All right, it's a deal.
All right.
I wanted at least 15, but I settled for 9.5. In one way, I don't feel good about it because I know this collection is worth 3 times as much, but it's time to move on.
What do we have here?
I've got a saddle.
A saddle.
Not just any saddle. This was a John Wayne saddle that he used in some of his movies.
Did he ride it or wear it?
Depends what kind of day it was. I have been a John Wayne fan all my life since I was a little kid with his Westerns. I would like to sell this because I have a son in college who plays sports, and I want to contribute to his sport.
All right, so this was John Wayne's saddle.
Yes, this saddle was used at the stables of Fat Jones. And the stable specialized in rentals to the film industry of all the horses and paraphernalia.
Okay.
This saddle was on his horse in True Grit.
Wow.
Oh man, that is incredible. I think True Grit was the only movie he won an Academy Award in. He was really a badass dude. John Wayne was a great movie star. He started back in the 1920s and went on to make over 170 movies, including some of the most famous Westerns and war movies. Anything he used in a movie tends to be really collectible.
What are you looking to get out of the saddle?
$2,600.
$2,600.
But what proof do we have that this is John Wayne's saddle?
Well, my wife's grandparents owned Fat Jones Stable, and they gave it to me, and they told me the stories behind it. And what I have is a letter from the grandmother.
Okay. Stan, the saddle that Dyke and I gave you was used in the movie with John Wayne called True Grit and some other things.
Okay, I've got a guy standing in front of me with John Wayne's saddle that he used in True Grit. with a barely legible handwritten note to authenticate it. Do you have anything better than this?
They were there, and this is how they went through life, with their word.
Okay, I mean, I just need more. I mean, if you can bring me back this on a nice piece of paper instead of notebook paper, notarized with a picture of her, John Wayne, and the saddle, we'll talk. But until we have all that together, this is just not enough for me.
All right.
Okay?
Have a good day.
Have a good one, man. In a situation like this, I would normally bring someone in. But without any hard proof, my buddies would have the same concerns as me. So it's not worth it to call anyone. Too bad, because it's a cool item.
Here it is. I hope you guys are ready to get your cowboy on.
So this is what you're talking about, Sheldon?
Yep. You must be Kimmy.
I am.
There it is, Rick.
Okay. That is different.
Yes, come on out and I'll show you.
Okay. Everything I've read about rodeos, more or less says was originally just some guys sitting around a corral somewhere and said, I could do that.
I have 2 roping mechanical steers. They're to practice roping. The short one, that one is just roped off the ground, and any age can rope it. The big one is better to be roped off of a horse. I would like to get $4,000 for Sparky and $800 for Shorty.
That looks impressive.
This is Shorty.
Okay.
He's a roping steer. He mostly works on concrete or something solid because he just spins his wheels in the dirt.
And Sparky 3 there.
Sparky 3, he's also mechanical, runs off of a remote. You rope the head, you turn him off, and the heeler comes around and ropes the feet, and you can do practice runs on him. A lot of the pro ropers have live cattle, but they also learn and train their horses with mechanical.
Okay. So can we see this thing work?
You absolutely can. See, it's 600 pounds, but if I can move it, anybody can.
So now you just press the button and it goes?
Yep, absolutely. You ready?
I'm all ready.
All right.
Told you it was cool, Rick. I knew you'd love these.
All right, I'm impressed. It's pretty cool. And so this thing is sort of like the same thing?
It is. It's a lot of fun for kids, learning position when you're roping. So when a kid comes out, or an adult, whichever, because it's fun for all, that's horns, and that's what you want to catch.
This is definitely cool.
So how much do you want for these?
For the big one, $4,000, and for the little one, $800.
Okay.
I gotta say, the big one, Pops, that's a little much for us. This one right here is pretty cool, though. What do you think?
No, I think it's great. You know, because believe it or not, there are a lot of people in Vegas with horses. I'm one of them. I'll give you $400 for Shorty, just so I can play with it. And maybe resell it. I got a trailer right there.
400, huh?
$400. I think it's a deal, and I might have a grandkid that can play with it, so.
Okay.
$400, we got a deal?
Yep.
All right, thanks. You're amazing. I'll get you paid. You guys load it up.
All right.
Rick roped me in to selling little Shorty for $400, so that's just gonna have to do.
So what do we got here?
Saddle that was used by Kevin Costner in Dances with Wolves.
All right.
There's got to be a lot of women who'll pay a lot of money for something that's touched Kevin Costner's hind end. I'm going into the pawn shop today. I'm going to try and sell my saddle. Yeah, I'm not a cowboy, I don't ride horses, but I'm a big fan of Kevin Costner's, and when I seen this saddle and he'd rode on it, I had to have it.
So how'd you get this thing?
I bought it at an auction, caught my interest. I'm a big Kevin Costner fan, so.
All right, do you get any paperwork saying it's from the movie?
Well, I got a card from the movie house and a few pictures.
All right.
The people at the auction house assured me that this was an original saddle that had been used from the movie.
Well, the problem is I don't see any, you have nothing written here. I mean, all you have here is some pictures of some people, looks like the Civil War. I don't know if it's a reenactment or a different movie, but I just see nothing here with Kevin Costner.
They assured the buyers that this was a saddle that had been used in Dances with Wolves.
There's nothing here that proves that Kevin Costner's hind end sat on it.
Well, we could do a DNA test for some.
Nah. I mean, the weird thing about this is it looks like a U.S. military-issued saddle. I mean, this is the style they had between the Civil War and I believe like World War I, turn of the century. It might be really, really old. I mean, if you look at this ring right here, this isn't modern welding right here. You can tell how this is like forged. So what interests me right now is this could have been used in the movie, but this might have been sitting in a prop house for the past 100 years. Hollywood prop houses are massive warehouses, and they often made props out of original items. I don't know if this thing was in Dances with Wolves, but this saddle does appear to be old U.S. military. This thing could be worth a lot of money either way. So you got two things that could make it worth money. It's actually a U.S. military issue saddle, and was it used in the movie? I mean, it's sort of a conundrum at the moment, because if it's both, it's even worth more. I would really like someone to check this out for me.
Well, as long as the expert's seen Dances with Wolves.
So let me call my buddy. We'll see what we can do.
Sounds good to me.
All right.
I know if we get somebody that knows what he's talking about, we get the expert in here, he's going to say, yeah, this is the real thing and it's worth the money. I'm okay.
My name is Mark, and I'm an expert in Western memorabilia. What I love about Western memorabilia, it's part of the history of our country and American culture. Well, it's definitely a military saddle. It's a McClellan saddle, developed in 1859 before the Civil War. The thing that kind of bothers me about this is not leather covered. Now, if you were riding this, 8 or 10 hours a day, see all these screws along here?
Okay.
And all the rawhide stitching that goes through here, your butt would be sore and your legs would be red. But the other thing on here, it says 12-inch seat. This is a very, very small seat for a human being to sit in. So it leads me to believe that this is a pack saddle. And you can see by all the holes and stuff for straps and the rings and loops and stuff on here, they could put a lot of different accessories on here. They're bedrolls, canteens, scabbards, all kinds of equipment.
So was this used in the movie Dances with Wolves?
Well, I'd seen the movie many times, but when you called, I watched it again. But this time I watched and looked at every saddle in the movie. And the movie was very authentic. In fact, one of the most authentic Westerns, they'd made in a long time. They paid attention to details. And I can honestly say this saddle was not in the movie.
They said for sure this was from Dances with Wolves.
In my opinion, it wasn't. There is no rawhide treed saddles in that movie.
But you can't say for sure this wasn't in the movie.
I can say for sure, because every saddle in there had black leather on it. I don't think it was used in the movie Dances with Wolves. No ifs, ands, or Kevin Costner's butts. But in authenticating something as being used by a specific person, you need more documentation than just an auctioneer's word saying this came from such and such a movie. You need a letter, you need serial numbers that match, things like that.
So what do you think this thing is worth?
Well, if it was a formal McClellan military saddle and had the full cover on it and everything, they're selling for around $1,000.
Okay.
But in this condition, missing some of the parts and not covered, I'd say 400, 500 maybe at the most.
Okay.
Do you remember, it's still a 100-year-old artifact. It's still a collectible piece.
Okay. Thanks for coming in, Mark. Really appreciate it.
Nice to meet you. Good luck. Bye.
I had a feeling it wasn't in the movie Dances with Wolves, but I also had a feeling it was real, and because of that, I want it. Okay, so how much do you want for it?
Well, I'd let it go for $750.
Okay, it would have been worth $750 if Kevin Costner's derriere was on it.
I still believe it was.
How about $250?
Yeah, I can't let it go for that. I paid more than that for it, and I mean, I'm sure it is still authentic, even though we couldn't get that verified. Can you go 400?
I'll go 300. I mean, if I give you $300, I'm gonna make 150 bucks. That's the most I'm gonna make. I'm not making a fortune off you.
All right, well, you got a deal, $300.
All right, let's go do the paperwork, man.
I got $300, it's less than I paid for it, but my wife's gonna be really disappointed when she finds out that she hasn't been that close to Kevin Costner signed in.
You're gonna love this. This is Larry Hagman's hat.
This is Larry Hagman's
Yes.
hat.
Oh,
Hey, it
now you
fits.
see, it fits.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to talk. It would be well over my nose.
I wear a really big hat.
You're a big guy. I'm at the pawn shop to sell my hat that belonged to Larry Hagman, who was J.R. on the TV series Dallas. I'm looking to get $1,400 because I think it's worth twice that. So I think $1,400 is a fair price.
Okay, Larry Hagman, J.R. Ewing from Dallas. The guy everyone loved to hate.
Exactly.
Dallas was on from like the late 70s to the early 90s. I mean, it was one of the most popular TV shows ever. It was about a Texas family, and they had oil fields, and they were really rich, and there was all this infighting with each other, and he played like one of the evilest, meanest people in the world.
Yes.
And by the early 80s, he was just like a mega star. My understanding is outside of television, really colorful guy. He made up this fake money and had his face put on it and gave it out to people all the time, and really involved in charity.
Very much so.
I guess if you're played that bad of a guy on TV, in real life, you really got to pump up your persona. So it's like, hey, I'm not really that guy. So, I mean, did he wear this on the show, or was this his personal hat?
This was his personal hat, and I understand he did wear it on the show occasionally.
But you don't know which episodes it was worn on, or if he wore it on an episode?
No, that I don't know.
Okay. How much you want for it?
I think I really should get $1,400.
All right, I have a guy who specializes in TV memorabilia and all that. Let me give him a call. Let me see what he thinks.
Great.
And who knows?
Sounds good to me.
All right, I'll be right back. I could have been a cowboy.
What do we have?
Larry Hagman.
Larry Hagman, a great character. J.R., everybody knows J.R. He was maybe the most love-hated villain in television history. Do you mind if I take a closer look?
Go ahead.
Great. So we do have that it was custom-made for Larry Hagman. In Hollywood memorabilia, they will almost always have prop numbers on them, the character's name as well. If that's okay with you, I'm gonna open up this rim here. Oh, well, that's interesting.
What's that?
Inside the lining of this hat, we have found what looks to be fake money. We'll look at that in a moment. I just want to talk about the hat if we can.
Yeah.
You could take a quick look and see on the stitching here.
Oh, sure.
This is probably a prop number. And I'm curious that it doesn't have the JR stamp on here somewhere, because certainly Dallas would have had a JR mark in here. So I'm going to just assume it's his personal hat, because I can't say for sure that this was used in any particular episode. Let's take a look at this for a moment. What we have here is J.R. Ewing $10,000 bills. So I'm not sure he didn't just use these to line his hat to keep sweat beading off the rim, but that's very interesting to find them in this hat.
Okay, so what do you think it's worth?
It's a nice hat. Has some condition issues. Look, there's a tear on the rim here. And Larry Hagman, although he was a great actor, not highly collectible. Because I cannot say for sure that it was used in a television show, I would put a value on this somewhere in the neighborhood of $700.
All right.
Thanks,
Rick.
man.
Pleasure meeting you.
Nice to meet you. Have a wonderful day.
Okay.
Knowing that I can't authenticate this item being screen used, I would warn Rick against buying it.
So I'll give you $400 for the hat.
Oh, come on. He just said $700.
I'll tell you what, I'll give you $500 because I like you so much.
Let's split the difference and make it $600.
I'll go $500.
Oh, come on.
I'm giving you more than I would give anyone else just because you're so pretty.
Yeah, but look at how handsome you are in that hat. Did you see yourself in a mirror? I mean, this is you.
I will give you $550.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, I'll meet you right up front and we'll do the paperwork.
Thank you.
I think she's a bigger hustler than JR ever was.
Hey, gentlemen.
So you got some movie props, huh?
We do. Maybe one or two.
So what do we got?
The first item is a gate around the cemetery in the final scene of season 3 of Yellowstone.
Was Kevin Costner in the scene with this fence?
Yes, he was in the exhuming scene of the body.
Your dad would love that.
The second item, this is a shoe shine stand that came out of the oldest barbershop in Austin, Texas when it closed in 1998. It's been used in multiple films, most recently the TV series 1883.
Okay, and tell me about the chair.
This is a very good reproduction using real cow horns of a popular Victorian furniture style that you saw a lot in Texas and the Southwest. This was used for Fear the Walking Dead, and then more recently on the set of 1883.
Okay. So just out of curiosity, what are you looking to get for the fence?
For the wrought iron gate, about $350.
Okay, and the shoe shine situation here?
That I usually place a value of about $2,500.
Okay, and the chair?
About $750.
Okay, so the fence from Yellowstone, I just feel like it's just a little too generic for me. The shoe shine thing, that's a lot of real estate. I am looking for a new chair in my office, though. And I will give you $750 for that chair all day long.
Really?
That is definitely something I need in my life.
Sounds good to me.
Can't you see me with that as a chair at the office of the pawn shop?
Unfortunately, yes. His nickname is Big Hoss. Sounds like the kind of guy that should be sitting in a horn chair.
Hey, what can I help you with?
Hey, I got this gun, and I want to sell it.
Okay. Where did you get it?
I got it from an old man. I got 6 guns from it, and I think this is the one that's worth the most.
How much did you pay for it?
I gave 25 bucks for it.
Give me 26 right now.
Oh, no. I'm coming down today to sell my 1890s Colt Revolver. I have no use for this gun. I want to sell it today and go out in Vegas and have a good time. I'm hoping to sell this gun for $5,000. The minimum I'll take is $4,000 for it.
Do you know anything about it?
I know it's old. I know it's a Colt, but that's all I know.
What you have here is the original Colt 45. Not the beer in the bottle, but the guns.
Wow.
It was the most high-quality gun you could get. It was the best machining, the best finish work, the best trigger mechanisms, everything. The Colt Single Action Army is a badass gun. It was originally made for the U.S. Army, but it got famous as the weapon of choice in the Old West. They called it the Peacemaker.
So how old is that one?
From the serial number, it looks early 1890s, and they've been making the same gun more or less till today. It does got some wear on it.
Yeah.
That's probably from going in and out of a holster a lot. This gun might be showing some wear, but it's a Colt 45 from the 1890s. These things sell better than just about any antique gun I carry. So what do you want to do with it?
I want to sell it.
And how much do you want for it?
I've been told that it's worth around $5,000.
I'll tell you what, I'll give you 2,500 bucks.
There's no way.
I mean, if everything checks out, maybe I can get 3 to 4.
I got at least have 4 out of it.
Normally, I'd like to call my buddy Sean in before I buy a gun like this, but he's out of town right now. But this gun is in such great condition, I don't see how I could lose money on it. So I need to make a move now, or this thing's gonna walk out the door.
No guts, no glory, dude.
2,800 bucks.
35.
I'll go 3 grand. I'm not gonna go no more. And I give you cash. You can walk right up the street and have a ball at the casino. Probably double your money.
That's what I'm hoping. Well, done.
Okay.
So.
All right, 3 grand. You wanna run them up? This gun is awesome. I should be able to make a couple $1,000 profit on it. But first, I'm dying to take Sean out to the range so we can fire it.
What's going on, Rick?
Hey, what's up, man? Hey, look what I bought.
On occasion, Rick calls me in. He's bought something that I wasn't available to help him out with. He just wanted to make sure before he goes to resell it that he's representing it correctly. You said you got something. This isn't just a something. So Rick pulls out this great first-generation Colt single-action revolver. This is what won the West. Everybody knew the Colt. And if you didn't have one, you know, sad for you. Most of these were issued with wood grips. Then whoever it was that ordered this would then get aftermarket bling, which is having pearl grips. And they look like they've been with the gun probably most of its life, so. And the other thing I like is when you look at the muzzle here, it's got honest holster wear. Okay, that's why this section is rounded off. So this was in and out of a holster a lot.
Okay, I mean, it's just the old Colts like that. It seems like every time I buy one, there's always ends up being some little problem.
I mean, somebody may be a little upset that, oh, there's a crack here, you know. Look, it's been there, it did that. These were working man's guns. This was the only protection you had. It's not like you could pick up your cell phone and call 911. This was 911 back in the day.
So what do you think? I paid 3 grand for it.
I think that you're gonna be able to get at least 5.
Nice.
You did well. Everything I'm seeing here, it's right.
Okay.
And it's fantastic. Don't do a thing to it. Leave it alone, sell it as is.
All right, you don't think there'd be a problem shooting it, do you?
I don't think so. Mechanically speaking, this is good to go.
Okay, thanks, Sean.
Awesome.
This gun is awesome. I should be able to make a couple $1,000 off it. But first, I'm dying to shoot it.
So who's gonna shoot the bad guy?
I am. I'm the only one that the holster will fit.
Rick was really lucky to have bought a really nice antique single-action Colt. This is the cowboy gun to have. So I wanted to give Rick and the guys a taste of the Old West. Okay, Rick, so here's the scenario. You're the sheriff. You have a bad guy coming at you. You're trying to arrest him. He's resisting arrest. He's pulling a weapon on you. You've got to take matters into your own hands.
Okay, it's like the OK Corral. You got cowboy loads for this thing?
Yep. And this is the difference. Here's a .22 caliber, and here's the .45 that you're going to be shooting.
That's right.
You're gonna load it. You got 6 shots. Here comes the bad guy. Rick's got to decide what to do. He's gonna try and arrest him first. The guy is not gonna go down. So Rick's got to take him down first. You scared?
I'm never scared. All right, let's do this.
Get him, Rick!
Oh, yeah! Nice! I think he's a dead bad guy.
Oh! Whew!
Nice.
I live to fight another day. Thanks, Uncle Rick.
All right, Rick. Well, you pissed him off here. Got him right on the side. Here, this is one of those shots that you can survive.
You can survive, but you're on the ground.
Oh yeah, you definitely put him down. There's no question. There's actually a mark where you hit him in the arm too.
Good enough.
Definitely. Rick actually did really well. He fired all 6 shots. 3 shots that we did find actually hit the target. So it just goes to show that you could still fire this Colt single-action revolver, even though it was made back in the 1880s.
All right, let's go get some lunch.
You hit him 50% of the time. Sean said he could live.
It's because it was $1,000 alive, 500 dead.
I'd have hit him on the first try.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi.
What we got here?
I've got a couple of notes to offer you. First off is a Bison star note, and I also have 2 consecutive chief notes.
Oh, sweet. The old school large paper money of the United States. This is when we actually made pretty money. And now they just put dead presidents and old guys on it.
I'm here today to sell some really cool and rare old U.S. paper currency. I'm selling the notes to free up some cash and maybe put the money into another investment. I'm a pretty passionate collector. I've been collecting ever since I was a little kid.
These are in incredible shape, too. So where'd you get these things?
I picked them up at a trade show out east.
So these are right around 1901-ish?
This one is from 1901, and this is from 1899.
Okay. Right around when these were printed, there were so many people in rural America, they were never going to be able to get to a museum somewhere and see fine art. So the idea was, let's start putting artful things on the money so people in rural areas could appreciate great American art. Like, you look at this bill right here. You got Lady Columbia. This is a great American Indian chief. You have Lewis and Clark. We have, American bison on it. I mean, it was big, it was bold, it was just pretty.
So much more color, too,
Everything about it's just cool.
Yeah.
It was really a drawn-out process. They used to have real artists who made the money, and it was really hard to counterfeit. One engraver engraved the portrait. A separate engraver would engrave the background of the front, and a third engraver would do the back of the bill. So if someone was going to counterfeit the bill, he'd have to be the world's greatest engraver because he'd have to do 3 different styles.
Really?
Yeah. The bison I rarely get, and this was a star note, which means the printing press screws up somehow or the other, and they got to stop the whole thing, fix what's wrong, and start over again. First bill always has a star.
To my understanding, star notes are considerably rarer than regular issues.
In general, if they have a star, they're always worth more money. These I've had over the years, but I have never had, 2 perfect ones, though. How many are you looking to get out of them?
I'm asking $15,000 for the pair of chiefs and $15,000 for the bison, so basically $30,000 for all 3 notes.
Okay. I've seen these notes before. I just never seen them in this kind of shape, so I sort of need a little help with the price.
Okay.
It's nothing I don't trust you. I just don't trust you. I'll be right back. I'm going to give someone a call.
I'm interested in hearing a second professional opinion. I'm very confident that he will agree with me.
What do we have here today?
Paper money.
Well, these are pretty cool, Rick. These are part of the Wild Wild West theme. They're considered to be America's greatest currency designs of all time. The chief actually was part of the Sioux tribe. However, whomever did the engraving used a Pawnee headdress.
Okay.
Little fun fact there for you. The interesting part about the chief notes, it's unusual to see a consecutive pair. The government will make these in sheets of 4, cut them up, and then put them in packs of hundreds. So it's very unusual to find 2 consecutive.
They're in incredible condition. I mean, those are both graded 65, which is damn near as high as you can get, so.
So I guess you kind of want to know the value?
Yeah, he wants $30,000 total.
Okay. The collectability of the Bison Star is going to be a little on a narrow field.
Okay.
I would put this as a retail value of probably 10 to 11 grand.
Okay.
The chief notes are very collectible, very easy to sell. I would say 99% of collectors want one. So I'd say on a retail level, you're looking right around $14,000 to $15,000. So you're essentially looking at $25,000 to $26,000.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
See you soon. Take care. Good luck.
All right. Okay, so you started at 15 on that one, 15 on that one. This right here, I'll go 8,000 on. It might sit for a while. These, on the other hand, I'll be honest with you, they'll sell quick. So take 11,000 for these.
I think we're much closer on the 2 chief notes than we would be on that one.
Well, how much closer are we?
I can do the pair for 12,000. My best is 10.5 for the Bison.
Okay, would you do 8,500 on the star note?
No, I can't.
All right. I'm not gonna buy that one, but I'm gonna buy these for 12,000 bucks. Deal?
Deal.
Sweet.
Thank
All right. Grab that. Meet me over there.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Pretty money, and I'll make a quick buck.
How you guys doing?
Oh, pretty good. What can I help you with?
Well, I got some items that Wyatt Earp owned.
Okay.
And I got a book of photographs.
Any of them of Wyatt Earp?
Maybe.
Do you mind me asking what you paid?
This I paid $1,000.
You paid $1,000 for a book and you don't know who's in it.
Yeah, pretty stupid, huh? I decided to come to the pawn shop today to sell my items that belong to Wyatt Earp. And I have some old pictures of Wyatt Earp and Bat Masterson. I don't know how much these items are worth, but I'm here today to find out.
So where did you get all this stuff?
Okay, I got this book of photographs from the internet.
Like an online auction or something like that?
Yes.
Okay.
And I got this Wyatt Earp memorabilia from John Gilchrist.
Who's John Gilchrist?
When Wyatt Earp died, he passed all his things down to best friend John Flood. Then when Flood died, he passed them down to John Gilchrist. Gilchrist was the one that found the gravesite of Josephine Earp and Wyatt Earp.
Was it missing at one point?
I don't think anybody really knew where it was.
And this looks like a blank stock certificate from Tombstone Consolidated Gold and Silver Mining Company. That's neat. American Old West icons don't get much bigger than Wyatt Earp. The lawman of Dodge City and Tombstone is best known for his showdown at the OK Corral. Anything associated with Wyatt Earp is worth a lot of money. You have some interesting photos here. I mean, there's some great tintypes in here. Back in the day, when you develop a photograph, it's got some pretty nasty, terrible chemicals, and it would destroy paper. So they would put them on a piece of tin. It could handle all the different chemicals and everything else they were using.
I've been told that one of these is of Wyatt Earp and one is of Bat Masterson, but I don't know for sure.
That looks like a U.S. Marshal's badge. Bat Masterson was a notorious lawman that served right beside Wyatt Earp in Dodge City. If these are real pictures of 2 of the biggest legends of the Old West, they're going to be worth a ton. Some of these tintypes are in incredible condition. I have a friend that's coming down later today. Old West stuff, he knows everything there is to know about it. If he can come back, we'll get all this checked out when he's here.
Okay, sounds good. I'm looking forward to have an expert come in and look at my items to tell me what the value is and maybe tell me a little bit of the history.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Rick. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
I'm Mark. I'm the administrator of the Clark County Museum. So what do we have here today?
He's got 2 pictures in here. He thinks one might be Wyatt Earp and one that might be Bat Masterson.
Okay.
And he also claims he's got some stuff that was owned by Wyatt Earp.
Wyatt Earp's one of those iconographic figures out of the Old West that ended up defining how we view the Old West. To find a new original photograph of somebody like Wyatt Earp or Bat Masterson, it'd make headlines. I've seen a number of images of Bat Masterson. He was widely photographed. It's a very nice tintype of a Western lawman. Bat Masterson, no. This does not look like it. And the eyebrows aren't right. The ears aren't right.
Okay.
In terms of this image, you don't often see three men sitting there with shotguns. This one is a very nice 1880s image, but not Wyatt Earp.
Okay.
A lot of people get these types of photographs and they want to believe that there's somebody famous, and they're not. There is only one Wyatt Earp and only one Bat Masterson. It's very hard to prove whether a particular piece was in fact owned by somebody famous. Even if it was owned by Wyatt Earp, it's still a brochure from a hotel. It's just a printed piece of paper. What do we have here?
This is a letter from Josephine Earp to John Flood in 1931.
Well, now that would be interesting. John Flood was Wyatt Earp's personal secretary in the early 1920s. And the time is right. It's an original envelope. It's a personal piece from his widow to his private secretary 2 years after his death. The most interesting piece is what appears to be an original Josephine Earp letter. John Flood was still friends with Josephine Earp, and it would tie directly back into this iconographic figure. My difficulty is I've never seen any of Josephine Earp's writings. You'd have to have somebody who knows the handwriting to be able to authenticate it.
All right, you're the best.
Thank you.
All right, so we generally have an idea of what we got here now. This one's full of tintypes. My problem is I've always had a really hard time selling them. I swear I can't give the damn things away. So there's nothing I could really do with that. This one over here is really interesting as far as a historical perspective. As far as a collectible perspective, really, really tough.
So what are you telling me? You gonna make an offer on anything?
Nothing. I mean, there's just nothing I could do. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Thanks for bringing them in.
Hey, thanks for looking at them.
No problem.
I'm disappointed that we didn't make a deal. It would have been nice to have some extra money.
Hi, guy. What you got?
I have a John Wayne hat.
Oh, okay.
It was one of the hats used in one of his movies.
Are you a fan of John Wayne?
Yeah, John Wayne was a great actor. He made so many movies that I really couldn't say which one I liked best.
My favorite one is when he played a cowboy and he rode around on a horse and shot people, and he had a cowboy hat.
Chumley, he probably starred in 100 Western movies.
Yeah, but my favorite one was that particular one.
Shut up, Chumley.
I decided to come to the pawn shop today to sell my John Wayne movie hat. The hat that I have, I believe, was worn by John Wayne in one of two movies, either Rio Grande or Rio Lobo. Looking to get probably about $1,200 or so for it.
And where did you acquire this at?
From a Western hat shop in Prescott, Arizona.
Did you get any certification?
The only thing that I have is, it's right inside here. I asked the gentleman at the store where he got it. He said that he was a prop master in the 50s and 60s. And this is one of the things that he held on to.
John Wayne was an American icon. Starting back in the 1920s, he was one of the top movie stars of all time. This is definitely the style hat that he would wear in a Western, called a prop hat. It's made to look like the 1870s, 1880s cavalry hat. It's manner out of Chicago. They made hats for many, many years. But my concern, son, is very simple. You have no paperwork. If this hat was worn by John Wayne in a movie, it could be worth some money. But I don't have much to go on. A tag that says the Duke is not much proof.
I do believe that the hat is real, just based on the conversation with that gentleman.
It'd be much nicer if they had to give you an appraisal when you bought it.
Right.
We have a friend here in town that is a prop master. If you don't mind, I'd like to call him in to look at this.
That'd be fine. I am looking forward to the expert coming in to look at the hat. I feel like the hat will stand on its own.
How you doing, guys? My name is Mark, and I have a company here in Las Vegas called Western Stage Props, and we specialize in selling props to the movies.
This is supposedly a hat that's worn in the movies by the Duke.
What can you tell me about it?
Well, I purchased this hat from a shop in Prescott, Arizona. This was labeled as John Wayne's hat, either from Rio Grande or Rio Lobo.
Rio Grande and Rio Lobo are 20 years apart. Rio Grande was made in 1950 in black and white. John Wayne wore a light-colored hat, so his hat probably was not in Rio Grande. When you get to Rio Lobo, he wore 3 different hats. First, he was a Northern military officer wearing a dark blue hat. And the brocade on the front here, or the tassels, were in a dark color. And in all the hats that were in that movie, none of them had these vent holes on the side.
Okay.
One of the red flags I see is that it's listed in here as 7 1/8. John Wayne's hat size was larger than this.
What about the tag from the wardrobe department?
You could write a dozen of these up and put them in a dozen hats. It doesn't make any difference. You can't purchase something on the legend. You got to have some facts behind it.
The only thing I can go by is the conversation I had with the gentleman back then.
The thing is, we have to have some documentation. This is very important. The chain of ownership is the key to the value of it. Other than that, it's just a used hat.
I appreciate you bringing it in. It's a very interesting piece, but where it came from, that's the big $64 question. After talking to Mark, I'm 90% certain this ain't Duke's hat. It wasn't a prop, and that guy at that store lied to you.
Okay, well, I appreciate you looking at it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Their stand is there's no way to authenticate it. It could have been a hat that perhaps Duke didn't like himself, and so he switched to another hat.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
What do we got here?
We got a autograph poster of the last 5 singing Cowboys.
Last of the singing Cowboys. So we got Eddie Dean, Monty Hall, Gene Autry, Roy Rogers, and Rex Allen.
Right.
This is a bunch of old guys I know nothing about. Do you mind if I call in my designated old guy over here?
Oh, go ahead.
Hey, Pops.
What's up?
I don't know who Monty Hall is or...
Monty Hale, that is right there. Not Monty Hall.
Okay.
Monty Hall was on Let's Make a Deal.
I'm looking to sell my poster, The Last of the Singing Cowboys. I'm a big Western movie fan, and with the 4 signatures on it, I really had to have it. I've had this for 15 years, and I think it's time to let it go and let someone else admire it. I'm hoping to get $500 for this poster.
This is pretty cool. The last of the singing Cowboys. Back in the 30s and the 40s, Westerns were really, really huge. They were really inexpensive to shoot. I mean, usually movies only ran 1 or 2 weeks. So the budgets were really low. They had ongoing sets just for Westerns that they were using 7 days a week, and they were a steady revenue stream. And basically the genre was good guys versus the bad guys.
The bad guys wore the black hats, the good guys wore the white hats, right?
Yeah, I mean, super cheesy, and these guys would always sing in the movies. And they became very popular. So the 2 biggest ones we have here is Gene Autry and Roy Rogers. Gene Autry was a very famous cowboy star. He was still doing movies well into the 70s and 80s, I'm pretty sure. Roy Rogers, on the other hand, a super clean-cut image, and he ended up making a fortune off it in the 1950s.
I thought Roy Rogers was a drink.
It is. That became really, really popular. I don't know when. I'm assuming the 40s or the 50s. Even when I was a kid, my parents would take us to a restaurant, and I would order a Roy Rogers. How about you?
Yeah.
So you got something cool here. What do you want to do with it? You want to sell it, or?
I'll sell it.
How much you looking for?
500.
Okay, when you bought this, were all these autographs on here?
Yes.
Okay, if you can wait for a little bit. Steve Grad, a friend of mine, will come down, he'll look at the autographs, he'll see if they're real, we'll get a price, and we'll go from there, okay?
Okay.
All right, I'll give Steve a call, see if he can hurry up.
All right. Hey, guys.
What's happening, Rick? How are you?
Good. So we have the Singing Cowboys.
Nice.
What is in the glass right there?
It's a Roy Rogers.
Where'd you get it?
Your bar.
You will return the glass.
Nope. So, Steve, we got the singing cowboy thing.
Nice.
Don't know what it's worth. He wants $500 for it.
Well, obviously, Roy Rogers was probably the most famous longtime singing cowboy. He's really a legend. Gene Autry, too. The great thing about Gene Autry is he was a great businessman. He loved baseball. He ended up owning the Angels for many years, and he was a big part of the franchise. Matter of fact, they retired number 26 in honor of him. The other guys that made it up were singing Cowboys, but they were in a lot of B movies.
Okay. Are the signatures real?
I'll take a look, Rick, and see what we got here. Obviously, Sharpie, same here, and same here. So even under the glass, I can tell you that it's live signatures. The two prominent signatures on here, Gene Autry, usually had a pretty consistent signature led by the big G, the big A. He would cross the T just like that. Roy Rogers is the other one. This guy had a great signature, Rick. Signed every letter, as you could see. This guy's all signed nice. So, signatures are all genuine.
Okay.
The one thing I did notice, though, it looks like the ink's faded a little bit.
I had it hanging on a wall for 15 years.
Okay, so that'll do that. And even a little bit of light can affect signatures, so that does happen. It still presents very nicely, but you could tell they're a little damaged due to lighting.
Okay. So, how much would something like this go for?
You've got all five together. It's a nice piece. But the problem is that if you ask some of the younger generation collectors if they knew who these guys were, a lot of people would be hard-pressed. So, you know, ballpark on something like this, I'd put the value right at about $350.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks, Ben.
Good to see you. Take care.
Thanks.
Appreciate it, Ben. So, he was saying it's worth right around $350. Would you take 200?
How about 2 1/4?
Yeah, I can do 2 1/4.
All right.
Corey, can you go write them up?
I gotta get a refill.
Give me a few minutes and I'll get all your paperwork done, okay? Just stay right there. Yeah, I can be a cowboy, but a singing cowboy, I just can't do the singing thing. Corey, give me one of those drinks, too.
You got a photo here of Doc Holliday? It's the only photograph in the world of him as a dentist.
Grandpa, come here. It's got a photo of Doc Holliday as a dentist. Wasn't he your dentist?
No, we weren't my dentist.
I came today to the pawn shop to sell the only known photograph of Doc Holliday as a dentist. I like the authenticity of it, the period costuming, if you will. I'm hoping to get 30,000, but I would settle for 18.
He had a relatively short career as a dentist.
Yes, he did.
He got tuberculosis. He was living in Atlanta, and he was pretty much making all his patients get tuberculosis.
Exactly.
So,
he couldn't do his practice anymore.
yes, and then they told him, you know what, you'll probably live a lot longer if you go out west because the air's gonna be drier out there. It wasn't necessarily that he was a bad guy or a serial killer, but he kind of lived life knowing that he was gonna die soon.
Right.
He ended up in Tombstone where he became friends with Wyatt Earp. The Earps had a bunch of trouble with a gang called the Texas Cowboys, and they all decided to go meet at the OK Corral. So they have a shootout. The Cowboys ended up killing Wyatt Earp's brother, and Wyatt Earp deputizes Doc Holliday.
Right.
Which is kind of funny to go from a dentist to an outlaw gambler to a lawman.
Exactly.
Doc Holliday is one of the most colorful figures in the Old West. Show me a gun he owned or a hat he wore, and I guarantee I can sell it. But a photo might be a little tricky. You have any idea of what Gary Dunlop did to be able to prove it was Doc Holliday?
Yeah, he had it sent to an expert that took a photo of Doc Holliday and did a facial comparison, and it came back positive.
All right, and how much were you looking to get out of it?
35,000.
35,000.
They go for 75. I think what brings value to this, they only made 100 of these in the world.
And that's the trouble with photography and prints, is that, you know, they make a certain amount and then they make another edition. To be honest with you, I can't go anywhere near that number.
Throw a number out.
I can offer you about 8,000 for it, but that's gonna be the most I can pay you.
Can you make me a better offer?
Push it to 10, that's top of the mark. I ain't going no higher.
You got 10,000 bucks, man. That's what I can do.
Make it 15 and we got a deal.
No way.
Can't do it.
No, can't do it.
Sorry, man.
All right, well, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
15.
Sure you won't take 10?
No.
Sorry.
Since we weren't able to come to an agreement, I'm going to go ahead and write letters to various dental offices who might be interested in Doc Holliday as a dentist.
Eureka! There's gold in that there sluice.
Is it sluice or sloosh?
Sluice, tomato, tomato.
I have a 1930s dry gold sluice.
made in the Depression era. I've kept it as a piece of folk art in my home for about a year or so. Kind of goes with the other Old West style items that I have. I want $1,500, so I'm hoping I can pan Rick for a good deal.
Really cool, I dig it. Where did you get this?
I buy high-end storage units as a side business. I got this in a unit out in Palm Springs.
Sort of makes sense for Palm Springs. You know this is a dry sluice, right?
Dry sluice made to mine where there's no water, using air bellows instead of water.
Exactly. You would shovel dirt onto this, and you just start cranking this, and the dust would fly out, and since gold's really heavy, that would all stay behind. It was back-breaking, insane work. I couldn't do it. Usually they use a wet sluice. You have water, it's way more efficient. But there was always that problem when you're out in the middle of the desert, because there's no water.
Where do you get the water?
Yeah, I mean, you can use it in the sluice, or you can drink it and not die, you know? You've heard of Jason and the Golden Fleece?
Yeah.
That's basically how they started mining for gold like thousands of years ago. They would take a sheep's fleece, they would lay it in a stream, and they'd just start dumping the dirt on it, and the gold would trickle down to the bottom, and the hairs would lock it in, and the dirt would wash out the top. And then they would take the fleece, they would dry it out, and put it in an oven for a few days. The entire fleece would burn away. You would have ash and gold at the bottom of it. That was like the first sluice, and they sort of went from there. Most of them are improvised like this. He probably got this part out of a washing machine or something like that, got the gearing.
Yeah, it's made of different odds and ends, ladders, shingles.
If you're a prospector and you're out in the middle of nowhere, you use what you got.
Whatever you have.
Actually, as far as things like this go, this is an amazing shape. How much you want for it?
Asking around $1,500. I've seen comparable models go that range.
Okay, all right, most likely you've seen them ask that much for that.
Ask that
Okay,
much.
people always say, I looked on the internet and they're asking. I'm going, yeah, they're asking, they're not getting. They're difficult to sell. It's tough, they sit for a long time, plain and simple.
Yeah, I get that.
If I sell this, I'd probably get $500-600 out of it.
Really?
Really. So I'll give you $300 for it.
Can you do around 9?
No. It's time and money. The longer it sits, the less I'm gonna pay.
Are you sure there's not any gold in there?
No, if there was full of gold down there, I'm going, yeah, no problem, dude. I'll give you your money. So I'll tell you what, I'll give you $350. That's the best I can do on it. You know, 20 years ago when the whole Southwest thing was in style, it would have sold like a champ. It's not in style right now. It's gonna be tougher to sell.
I think I'll keep it at that price.
If you change your mind, come back and see me.
I will. Well, thanks, Rick. Appreciate it.
In a previous life, I was a 49er.
Oh my God.
Awesome.
What in the hell you got here, son?
I've got 2 dummies that I'm dying to sell.
I got enough of them working for me.
I decided to come to the pawn shop today to sell my 2 beautiful Western dummies. I had them for years, but I need the money right now. Business is slow, times are rough.
And where in the world did you get these?
Well, I used to do Western shows, you know, and parties and different things, and I decorate with them. Used to sit them on barrels and cactus and stuff like that. They're all hand-painted. The manufacturer has a series of about 144 different heads. You choose your head, you choose the mustache, you choose the look, and they put them together the way you need them.
Well, they're really interesting, and they are cuter than hell. These dummies are used in museums, restaurants, amusement parks. They look good, and they can be worth a lot of money. But there's not too many people coming in looking to buy them.
All the joints work. You can place them any way different, you know, fold their arms, you know. The head turns, you know, 180 degrees. People think they're real. Sometimes if I'm going to a really bad neighborhood, I'll put one in the car, and no one will mess with the car. You know, they'll think there's somebody in it.
Do you ever use them in the carpool lane?
No, but that's a great idea.
I want these dummies, and I think they'll look good in the shop. And that's about all there is to it. If the price is right, we can make a deal. It's just simple as that. How much you want for them, guy? What you trying to do?
Well, I paid about $1,000 for each one of them.
Well, that's not my problem. If you want it, I'll give you $500 for the pair.
That's a little bit lower than I had in mind. I was hoping I can get $350 a piece.
I'm not going to go no higher. I mean...
All right, I need a moment, maybe just to think about it.
Okay, no problem.
All right. I'm going to take the offer.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I really had to think about the $500 offer. I paid way more than that, but after thinking about it, I decided to take the offer. I just need the room, I need the money. Although it feels like I'm giving up, you know, really good friends.